Hi all, I welcome you all to the next lecture. Today I am going to discuss the problems on second law of thermodynamics. Recently we have conducted one quiz. So today we are going to discuss the solution of those numerical problems. So these will be additional problems on second law of thermodynamics. So my request to each and everyone to that they should have a calculator with them so that easily they can verify the answers right along with me. So I will tell you all the steps how to approach that problem and how to solve those. And prior to that, please subscribe and like my channel. So let's have the first problem. I will dictate and you can note it down. So the first problem says that thermal efficiency of a Carnot engine is 30% if the engine is reversed in operation to work as heat pump with no change in temperature conditions. Then what will be the coefficient of performance of heat pump? Right. So this is the problem which is given here. So how to solve that? So what is basically given? So given is thermal efficiency of Carnot engine is given. So you can note it down that given efficiency reversible. I will write efficiency reversible. That is efficiency of Carnot cycle. Carnot cycle is an reversible cycle. So efficiency reversible is given 30%. All right. Now if that is going to be work as in a reverse, so I will draw here. So if I say this is high temperature, this is low temperature, and in between that, right, this was the Carnot cycle. So initially it was something like this, in which it was taking the heat from higher side, right, and rejecting to the lower side, and it was generating the work. So this was the Carnot cycle earlier. So I think so diagram will be clear. So T higher and Carnot cycle is here, alright, and rejecting QL to the low temperature reservoir. The rest temperature is TL. So this was the Carnot cycle. Now it's asking that if we are going to reverse the direction, so it will be working like a reversed Carnot engine. If that is the case, if I draw it here, now things are becoming something like this. So T lower as it is and T higher is also as it is. Only thing is that now direction getting reversed. Now it will be working in anti-clockwise direction. Earlier it was working in clockwise direction. Now anti-clockwise direction. So it is working like a pump. So I am writing here P. So it is a pump. It requires the W input. Right here W in, which I have written here W in. So now directions are reversed. So heat QH is going to the TH and the QL it has been taken from the TL. Right, look at this direction. So direction now reverse. Earlier direction was like this. So this is Carnot cycle. This is reversed Carnot cycle. So I can say this is Carnot engine. This is known as reversed. Right, Carnot engine. So as direction of heat got transfer means reversed, it will requiring the work input, right? So it has been asked what is the coefficient of performance of it that we need to calculate. So how to do so? So coefficient of performance, as we know, COP of heat pump is nothing but it is a reversible, right? So it's working on Carnot cycle, so it is reversible. So the work effectiveness of pump will depend only on initial and final temperature of the cycle. So T higher divided by T higher minus T lower can be write like this. So if I divide both top and bottom by T lower, or if I take T lower as common from here, I can write like T higher divided by T lower here, right, divided by T higher divided by T lower minus 1, right, T higher divided by T lower. So is it visible? T higher divided by T lower. Here T higher divided by T lower minus 1, because I have taken T lower common from here, right, from bottom, that I have divided here. So just leave this as it is here. Now go to the Carnot engine. So Carnot engine, we can write efficiency reversible is equal to 1 minus T lower divided by T higher, which is given as 30%. So we can say 0.3, which is given as 0.3, right, 30%. So from here we can take this side. So from here we can say T lower divided by T higher is equal to, take this side, it will become 0.7, right, or you can say T higher divided by T lower became 1 divided by zero point 0.7 if you substitute in the calculator. So this is my calculator, right, which I am using. So 1 divided by zero point 0.7, which I got 1.43 approximately, which is coming 1 point, if you look at the digit, it's coming 1.4285. So I will take 1.43 as round off. So this is 1.43. So I got T higher divided by T lower as 1.43. Is that clear? So the moment you know T higher divided by T lower, substitute this in equation number 1 to get the coefficient of performance of heat pump. So coefficient of performance of heat pump is nothing but T higher divided by T lower, which is 1.43, divided by 1.43 minus 1. So just use the calculator. So it's 1.43 divided by 0.43. So it is coming around 3. Look at the digit, 3.325. So I can say 3.33. So it is the 3.33. So 3.33 is the answer for this problem, right? First problem answer is 3.33. Is that clear? So like that you can solve. So we have started from Carnot, right, and then we go for reverse Carnot, which become heat pump, right? Is that visible, right? uh, yeah, then reverse Carnot, then we have taken the coefficient of performance heat pump, that is T higher divided by T higher minus T lower. Then we taken the T lower as common, so we can express this in terms of T higher divided by T lower divided by T higher divided by T lower minus 1. Efficiency of reversible engine is 1 minus T lower divided by T higher. From here, by substitute the value of efficiency as 0.3, right, we got T lower by T higher value 0.7. So from here we can write T higher by T lower as 1.43. Substitute this in equation number 1, we can get 3.33. So like this is the first problem which we have solved, right. Now we'll go for the second problem, right. So take the second problem. So second problem says an inventor states that his new engine rejects to sink 40% of heat absorbed from the source, while the source and sink temperature are 600 Kelvin and 300 Kelvin respectively. Full stop. His engine equivalent to, it has been asked like this, his engine equivalent to. So what is given? An inventor states that his new engine rejects to 40 sink 40% of heat absorbed from the source. All right. So clearly it is given Q rejected is equal to 0.4 times of heat supplied, right. 40% of that it is rejecting to the sink. Source and sink temperatures are given. So I can say that T higher, which is given as 600 Kelvin, and T lower, which is given as 300 Kelvin. These all things are given, right. Now we need to find out whether the given engine is a Carnot engine or it is a highly efficient engine or impossible engine. So first, efficiency of actual engine you find out, that is nothing but 1 minus Q rejected by Q supplied, right? QR by QH. So if you substitute here 1 minus 0.4, that is 0.6, or you can say 60%. This is the actual efficiency. Now if you go for the efficiency of maximum will come efficiency of reversible cycle depends only on initial and final temperature of cycle. So you can say 1 minus T lower divided by T higher. So 1 minus T lower is 300 divided by 600. That means 1 minus 1 by 2. It is coming 0.5, or you can say 50%. Now look at these two values. Actual efficiency is 60%, maximum efficiency 50%. Is it possible? No, because none of the actual engine have a higher efficiency than a reversible engine. That means what? That means what? Whatever claim inventor is making is not possible. So we can say such an engine is equivalent to an impossible engine. It is an impossible engine. So very simple way we can say it is impossible engine because it's violating the second law. Let's go for the third problem, right? Like that you can nullify his claim. Let's go for third problem, which says that which condition will not contribute towards a process to be reversible. So keep in mind, process will be reversible only when if it is proceeding at very slow rate, or you can say quasi statically. First condition should be steady, right? And there should not be any kind of losses. So losses due to friction, due to heat losses, right? These all things should not be involving. Then only we can say that is a reversible process. And the heat should also be transferred through infinite temperature, means a very small infinite temperature difference, infinitely small temperature difference. That is also necessary condition. So if you look at the options are given, heat must be transferred only through an infinitely small. Yes, this is required for reversible. There should be no friction. Yes, that is also one of the condition for reversible. The process must be accomplished quickly means faster. So this actually looking something odd. Let's go for next option. Process must proceed infinitely slowly. Yes, this is one of the requirement of reversible. None is not there. That means the correct option is the process must be accomplished quickly. This is actually violating the one of the requirement of process to be reversible. So that's what is asked. That is been asked. Which condition will not contribute towards the process to be reversible? That means the process must be accomplished quickly. That's what is going to violate any process to be reversible. So it should occur very slowly, right? So the odd option is the process must be accomplished quickly. So this is the answer for this problem. Next one, a small change in delta T can be affected either in source temperature or sink temperature, which will result in higher efficiency. So it's been asked, right? So basically, if you look at the efficiency of engine is 1 minus T lower divided by T higher. Keep in mind. So from here itself, you can predict the things. It is saying that if we are changing very small change in either low temperature or high temperature, right, which will basically increase the efficiency. Keep in mind, this is minus term. So if we are able to reduce this, right, as much as possible, we can maximize the efficiency, right? One thing is that if you are increasing the T higher by keeping T lower as constant, in that case what will happen, basically right, what will happen, this term, even though will decrease initially, but it will basically finally overall efficiency will be less. So how to prove that? Let's suppose first case we are considering, we are, what we are doing, we are changing delta T for the high temperature, right? Means high temperature reservoir. So so options, if you look at options are given by increasing in T1. That means if we increase temperature 1, right, whether efficiency will increase. Second, it does not depend on temperature but on fuel use. This cannot be possible, right? Decrease in T2, right? And last option is none. So one by one we will see the changes. First, by increasing T higher, T1 is the source temperature. T higher we are increasing. So let's suppose we are writing efficiency 1 is equal to 1 minus T lower is as it is. T higher we are increasing by delta T. So we have written here. Clear? Is that visible? Yeah, so we have written like this. Efficiency 1 is equal to 1 minus T lower is as it is divided by T higher plus delta T. So we have increased the T higher, right? Or you can say T1. T1 is a source temperature. I am considering as T higher. That's the one. So leave that as it is, equation number 1. Now, by reducing T lower, second means trial we are taking, decreasing in T2, that T2 is T lower. So efficiency 2 is equal to 1 minus T lower minus delta T. We are basically reducing T lower, T1 minus delta T divided by T higher. T higher is as it is. That's the second option. Third option, it does not depend on temperature, that we are not actually considering here, and none is not possible. So any one of these two will be there. Let's see which one is there. Now what we will do? Subtracting the equation number 1, right? This one, right, from equation number 2. So if we do so, efficiency 2 minus efficiency 1, we can write in this way. If you are doing so, 1 and 1 will cancel out. So this will become positive. So we can say T lower divided by T higher plus delta T is one term, right? This become positive. This is still is negative. T lower minus delta T divided by T higher. We can write in this way. Clear? By subtracting. So if you solve this, right? If you solve this, further simplification if you do, this will become T higher minus T lower 1 bracket into delta T, LCM I am taking, plus delta T square divided by T1 T higher, right, and we can say T higher plus delta T. So I am getting this kind of term. This is T higher minus T lower delta T plus delta T square divided by T higher T higher plus delta T. But what is given basically, T higher is greater than T lower, already it is mentioned. So if you substitute the value of T higher, which is greater than T lower, that means this complete term is greater than 0. Yes or no? Greater than 0. So we can say from here, efficiency 1, efficiency 2 minus efficiency 1 is greater than 0. Clear? Or you can say efficiency 2 is greater than efficiency 1. Yes or no? We can say efficiency 2 is greater than efficiency 1. What is efficiency 2? So if we look at the efficiency 2 is here, which is talking about by decreasing the low temperature, right? This is efficiency 2. By increasing high temperature, efficiency 1, that means first arrangement is giving low efficiency compared to the second arrangement. That means if we decrease the T2, or we can say that if we decrease the low temperature, we can enhance the efficiency. That's what is given here, which will have higher efficiency. So answer is decreasing the T2. So this option is correct. Now go for the next fourth problem. So fourth problem basically talking about the coefficient of performance of refrigerator working on a reversed Carnot cycle is 4. The ratio of highest absolute temperature and the lowest absolute temperature is. So in this problem is asking the ratio of highest temperature to the lowest temperature, but what is given, the coefficient of performance of a refrigerator working on a reversed Carnot cycle is given. So reversed Carnot cycle is nothing but uh, you know uh, it is a reversible refrigerator. So if it is a reversible refrigerator, coefficient of refrigerator reversible is given as 4, and we know the reversible device doesn't depend on the properties of working fluid, depends on the initial and final temperature of cycle. So coefficient of refrigerator is nothing but T lower divided by T higher minus T lower. Can we say this? It is asking about the ratio of T higher by T lower. Take the T lower as common, right, from here. So we can write 4 is equal to here 1 divided by T higher divided by T lower minus 1. Do the cross multiplication, right? So you can say T higher divided by T lower minus 1 is equal to 1 divided by 4. That is nothing but 0.25. Yes or no? 0.25. So T higher divided by T lower is equal to 1. You take that side, 1.25. So answer is the ratio of highest temperature to the lowest temperature is nothing but 1.25. Is that clear? Like that you can solve the fourth problem. Let's go for the next problem. Next problem says, which of the following processes can approach reversibility? Reversibility, right? So it has been asked. So out of these means what is given: controlled or restricted expansion or compression, chemical reaction, mixing of different substances, action of brakes in stopping a vehicle. Keep in mind, one by one we will discuss. None is not possible. So out of these four, any one is the answer. Is asking about which one of the following processes can approach reversibly. So one first option is action of brakes in stopping a vehicle. When you apply a brake to stop a vehicle will stop all of a sudden. So it is a fast process. Any fast process cannot be considered as reversible process. Second one is mixing of different substances. When two different substances are going to mix, right, that mixing is irreversible. Basically we cannot reverse, so that is also not a reversible. Chemical reaction also takes place at a finite temperature, finite gradient, so that is also not reversible. So chemical reaction can also not be considered as reversible. So last option left with is controlled or restricted expansion. Yes, that means it is happening slowly. We can control that. This kind of process can be considered as reversible. So that's what is asking. Which one of the process can approach reversibility? That means controlled or restricted expansion or compression can be considered as reversible. Take the next problem, a heat engine operating on a Carnot cycle. The work output is 1 by 4th of heat rejected to the sink. Full stop. Thermal efficiency of the engine would be, thermal efficiency been asked. So what is given? For a heat engine operating on Carnot cycle, is a reversible heat engine, keep in mind, the work output W net is equal to 1 by 4th of heat rejected. So heat rejected, this is given. All right, thermal efficiency is being asked. What is the thermal efficiency of it? So W net is given. This one W net is nothing but Q supplied, right? Or you can say the Q supplied minus Q rejected is given this much, right? So from here you can relate with the Q supplied in terms of QR, right? This relation is given. So you can rearrange this. So you can say from here QS is equal to 1 plus 1 by 4 QR. Can you say this? You take here, this become 5 by 4 QR, or you can say from here QR divided by QS, Q rejected I am saying, divided by Q supplied is equal to, take this here, this become 4 divided by 5. Clear? I got this relation between heat rejected by heat supplied. QR is heat rejected and Q supplied. So thermal efficiency is nothing but 1 minus Q rejected divided by Q supplied, right? So I can say 1 minus 4 divided by 5. Just solve this. This is 1 divided by 5. That is 0.2, right? Or 20%, right? So answer is 20%, right? So 20% is coming. So understand that what is given, W net is 1 by 4th of QR, that is nothing but Q supplied minus Q rejected. So from this equation I related Q supplied in terms of Q rejected, then I have taken the ratio of Q rejected by Q supplied, and I have written efficiency thermal is equal to 1 minus Q rejected by Q supplied. I substitute the value of 1 minus 1 4 by 5, that will become 1 by 5, that is 0.2 or 20%. So 20% is the answer. So in that option you can see options are given 54%, 35%, 42% and 20%. So 20% is the correct answer for this. Take the next problem. A heat pump working on a reversed Carnot cycle has coefficient of performance 5. If it works as a refrigerator taking 1 kilowatt of work input, the refrigerating effect will be. So it's asking about refrigerating effect. This is very simple problem. So take sixth problem right in this series. So what is given? A heat pump. So coefficient of heat pump is given as 5. It works on, if it works as refrigerator, right? So if it is going to work as refrigerator, for which W input is given 1 kilowatt. So coefficient of heat pump is equal to, there was one relation, right? That direct relation you can use. So relation was given as, if you relate the coefficient of heat pump with the coefficient of refrigerator, that is given as coefficient of coefficient of heat pump is given coefficient of refrigerator plus 1. All right. So like that you can relate. So coefficient of heat pump is equal to coefficient of refrigerator plus 1. So I need coefficient of refrigerator from here. So coefficient of refrigerator is nothing but coefficient of heat pump minus 1, which is given as 5. 5 minus 1, 4. Now coefficient of refrigerator is desired effect. What is desired effect? Basically keeping the things cooled. That is known as a refrigeration effect divided by the work input. So this is known as basically coefficient of performance, that is given for refrigeration effect divided by the work input, right? So it has been asked what is refrigeration effect. Work input is given 1 kilowatt. So this become 4 is equal to refrigerating effect RE divided by 1. So refrigerating effect is 4 kilowatt. So just look for this. If this option is available, yes, this option is given. 4 kilowatt is the answer, right, for this problem. So this problem is also very easy. All right, let's go for next problem. An engine operates between temperature limits of 900 Kelvin, all right, and T2, and other engine operates between T2 and 400. So it is basically a series kind of engine. For both the engines to be equally efficient, find out the T2. So it's been asked, engine operates between temperature limits of 900 Kelvin and T2, and other engine between T2 and 400 Kelvin. For both engines to be equally efficient, what is the value of T2? So draw the diagram first, because diagram is must. So if you draw the diagram, it will be something like that, but intermediate temperature is there, and then final one more reservoir is there. So one reservoir is at 900 Kelvin, another here is at 400 Kelvin. So one heat engine is operating here, right? Another is operating between this and this, right? So it is like this, and so this is generating some work, W net 1, taking some Q1, rejecting Q2 here, This is heat engine 1, right? This is heat engine 2, right? This is generating W net 2, taking as Q2 and rejecting Q3 here. This temperature is T2 that has been asked, right? So this is a series kind of arrangement. 900 Q1 W net and T2 and last 400 and W net 2, right? So is clearly given efficiency of heat engine 1 is equal to efficiency of heat engine 2. Clear? So now put the assumptions you need to make. Both the engines are reversible, right? This is our assumption which we have made. So both the engines are reversible. This is our assumption. Efficiency of heat engine 1 is equal to efficiency of heat engine 2. So once we say this is reversible, right, efficiency will depends only on temperature. So we can write efficiency of 1 which is operating between 900 and T2, efficiency of 2 which is operating between T2 and 400. So efficiency of heat engine 1 is equal to 1 minus T2 divided by 900, and efficiency of heat engine 2, right, is equal to 1 minus 400 is low now by T2. This become like this. Equate these two terms, right, like efficiency 1 is equal to efficiency 2. So I can write 1 minus T2 divided by 900 is equal to 1 minus 400 divided by T2. So take this term this side, take this term this side and cross multiply, right? So cross multiply, it will become T2 square is equal to 900 into 400. So T2 is equal to under root 36 into 100 into 100, right? So this 36, you can write 9 into 4 into 100 into 100. So if you solve this, you can get 3 into 2 into 100, that is 600 Kelvin. Look for this. Why is that 600 Kelvin? This is T2. So if we go like this, all right. So 600 is given. This is the correct answer for this problem. So next go for the next problem. Three engines A, B, C operating on Carnot cycle respectively use argon, oxygen and helium as working fluid. If all engines operate with in the same high and low temperature limits, then which engine will have high efficiency? Keep in mind, again read the statement. Three engines A, B and C operating on Carnot cycle. This is the trick. Carnot cycle. So Carnot cycle, any engine which operates on Carnot cycle is called a reversible heat engine. They are operating on using different kind of working fluid, argon, oxygen, helium as working fluid. If all the engines operates within these same high and low temperature limits, then which engine will have high efficiency? It has been asked. Try to recall the corollaries of Carnot theorem, which says that efficiency of all the reversible heat engine operating between the same constant temperature source and same constant temperature sink, none has higher efficiency than other, or you can say all the reversible heat engine will have same efficiency if they are operating between the same constant temperature source and same constant temperature sink. Or in other way you can say the efficiency of reversible heat engine does not depend on the working fluid or type of working fluid. So even though these three engines are using different kind of working fluids, but their efficiency are the same. So look at the options. So all the engines are equally efficient. This is the correct answer. And other options were none of the engine A, engine B, engine C. So correct answer is all the engines are equally efficient. Now the last problem, right? These problem which we have solved so far, these are all 1 marks questions. Now go for the last numerical problem. This is slightly lengthy and it is been asked for 5 marks. I am dictating again. A reversible heat engine absorbs 2000 500 kilojoule per cycle of heat from a constant temperature heat source at 2000 Kelvin and rejects some energy as waste heat to a reservoir at X. Full stop. The work output from the engine is used to derive a reversible refrigerator, its source temperature being 300 Kelvin. Full stop. The heat outflow from the refrigerator is also taken to the reservoir X. Full stop. If the total heat flow into the reservoir is 3000 kilojoule per cycle, comma, make calculations for the temperature of reservoir X. So first we draw the diagram. So it is given a reversible heat engine absorbs 2500 kilojoule per cycle of heat from a constant temperature heat source. So heat source is given 2000 Kelvin. From here it is taking heat how much? 2500 kilojoule per cycle. Alright, and this is heat engine. Right, it is producing some work. Right, and waste heat is going, right, heat rejected. I am writing QR to the body which is called X. Right, the work output from the engine is used to drive, so this actually is also driving a heat pump, no sorry, refrigerator. It is a refrigerator anti-clockwise. All right. The source temperature being 300 Kelvin for this, so I will write here. So 300 Kelvin is the source temperature for this, from where it is actually taking the heat, right? So I will say low temperature is for the refrigerator is this. All right, so it is taking this and rejecting to the X. Again it's saying that heat is going towards the X. So if the total heat flow into the reservoir is 3000 kilojoule, so if I say Q lower and Q higher, so what is given here? Given is Q higher plus Q rejected from heat engine is given as 3000 kilojoule per cycle, right, which is given here. Make calculations for the temperature of X. So I need to find out here X body temperature, Tx we need to calculate, right? So this is the last problem. So look at the diagram. So 2000 Kelvin, right, taking heat is 2500 kilojoule per cycle. This is a heat engine producing W net and rejecting some heat 2x. Another refrigerator which is operating, taking heat from 3300 Kelvin, rejecting to the X. What is given total heat to this reservoir is given 3000 kilojoule per cycle, right? And we need to find out the temperature of this X. How to solve that? So we can start from heat engine. First we will write heat engine. So for heat engine, we can write the equation like efficiency of heat engine is given as W net divided by heat supplied, right? Heat supplied. This is also written as 1 minus T lower, this is Tx divided by T higher, which is 2000 Kelvin is given. So we can write in this way. Now what you need to do, this W net which is given, net work is nothing but heat supplied minus heat rejected. So we can write in this way, W net is equal to, from here you write W net is equal to Qs 1 minus Tx divided by 2000, right? So now rearrange the terms, right? So if you rearrange the terms, right, you can write W net is equal to Q supplied minus Q rejected. So our main task is to find out the heat rejected. So heat rejected is equal to, look at here, here also QS is there, here also QS is there. Take this QS this side. If you take this side, one will cancel out, right? So take this QR here, QR came here, take this QS this side. The QS is common, so you can write 1 minus Tx divided by 2000. So this can be written as Q supplied Tx divided by 2000, right? So this can be written in this way. So now I know Q rejected is equal to Q supplied Tx divided by 2000. Just leave this here, equation number 1. And also you know that W net is equal to Q supplied 1 minus Tx by 2000, right? This also is needing, because now we are going for refrigerators. Whatever net work is generated is getting supplied to the refrigerator. So now write for refrigerator. For refrigerator, we can write coefficient of performance of refrigerator is nothing but T lower. T lower is 300, right? 300 divided by T higher is Tx minus 300. This is nothing but Q lower divided by, this is Q lower divided by work input. So this is the work input. Work input is nothing but W net, which already we know, which is given here. Alright. So now, so as we know, W input is nothing but, if we apply the static fluid energy equation here, we can write QL plus W input is equal to QH. So QL is equal to QH minus W input, right? You can say yes or no. These two things are coming, right, and going here. So so just substitute in place of QL. QL is equal to QH. So this as it is, you write 300 divided by Tx minus 300 is equal to, just substitute here, QL is equal to QH minus W input divided by W input. So you can write this QH divided by W input minus 1, right? You can write in this way, right? QH divided by W input minus 1, because QL is equal to QH minus W input divided by W input. So from here I need QH value basically. So QH divided by W input is equal to, take this term this side. I am taking this term here. So I can write 1 plus 300 divided by Tx minus 300. I'm taking this side. So if you take the LCM of this, right, 1 by 1, take LCM Tx minus 300 plus 300. This will become simply Tx divided by Tx minus 300. Yes or no? Now this W input is what? Network, right, which has been supplied. This is here. This is Qs 1 minus Tx by 2000. Just substitute this value here, right? So if you do so, you can write in this way, QH is equal to W net multiply by TH divided by Tx minus 300. This is also Tx, right? So you can write in this way. Now substitute the value of W net, which is here, right? The same thing you can write here. So if you write here, is Qx 1 minus Tx divided by 2000 into Tx divided by Tx minus 300, you can write. So this become like this. This is QH. This is equation number 2, right? You got this. Now it is given QR plus QH is equal to 3000 kilojoule. So this is given QR plus QH is equal to 3000 kilojoule per cycle, which is given, right? So adding equation number 1 and equation number 2, So take this equation, so I can write qs tx divided by 2000 as one term plus this complete term, which became qx 1 minus tx divided by 2000, right? Another term is tx divided by tx minus 300. Take this 2000 also inside, so this became 2000 here, right? Minus tx divided by 2000. I can write this. Look at here, I have not done anything, just I taken the LCM. This become 2000 minus tx divided by 2000. So now look at this is equal to 3000. Look at here, what is common? This is the common term qs tx by 2000. Here also qs tx by 2000. Take this as common. qs tx divided by 2000, this is common. What is left with 1 plus this become 2000 minus tx divided by tx minus 300. Clear? Are you able to see this? Right, just you have taken this common out, 1 plus this term, alright, is equal to 3000. Again you solve this, take LCM, so this become qs, right, tx divided by 2000, and if you take the LCM, this become tx minus 300. Inside, if you look at, if you take this here, tx plus 300 plus 2000 minus tx will cancel out, right? This is minus 300 plus 2000, this becomes 1700 is equal to 3000. Look at here. Now what you need to do? Not to do anything, just substitute the value of qs. So I am putting here multiply by 2500. I kept it here. Look at here, I substitute the value of qs, which 2500. Now I will use the calculator. I will take these all, this divided by this, multiply by this, divided by this, everything I will do. So I will get a very simple term, tx divided by this term, tx minus 300 is equal to, so this is my calculator, right? So I will solve now. So I will directly solve 3000 multiplied by 2000, 3000 multiplied by 6000, sorry, 2000. This is divided by 2500 multiplied by 1700, right? So I'm getting this is 1.41. Look at this, 1.4117, 1.412. So cross multiply and we will solve for tx. You cross multiply this term, don't get confused. We are here, this is tx by tx minus 300 is equal to 1.142. Just solve this, cross multiply, and if you solve, divided by 1. So if you solve this, you get tx is equal to 1.412 times of tx minus 300. So tx can be calculated from here, right? Very simple way. So rearrange the terms, take this tx this side, take this 300 this side. So 1.412 multiplied by 300, right? This I have written 1.412 into 300. This actually this term, I am taking 1.412, 300 this side, then 1.412 minus 1 tx I will take this side. So this divided by 1.412 minus 1, right? Why I am writing this 1.412 minus 1? Because this is 1.42 tx minus 1. So divided, look at how much is coming, 1028.15. So tx is equal to, I will write here, I got tx is equal to 1028.15 Kelvin. So this is the answer, 10 Tx is coming 1028.15 Kelvin. So this is the correct answer. Again I write here 1028.15 Kelvin. Is that visible? 1028.15 Kelvin is the final answer of Tx. So like that you have to solve. So you started from heat engine, right? Heat engine, what step is taken? Efficiency of heat engine is equal to W net by Qs 1 minus Tx by 2000. So you express W net in terms of Qs 1 minus Tx by 2000, that is also equal to heat supplied minus heat rejected. So from here you express heat rejected in terms of heat supplied, which is in terms of Tx by 2000. This is equation number 1. Then you went for refrigerator, where you have written copper refrigerator is equal to 300 by Tx minus 300 is equal to Ql by Wn. Then what you have done, from here W input you express, right, 3000 by 300 by Tx minus 300, right, that you have written into QL, right, and the QL is what, basically QH minus this one, right, that you have written. So QH minus Wn you have written by Wn. So just you substitute that value, you got QH by Wn minus W1, right, that you substitute here. Then you got from here QH by Wn. Look at here, QH by Wn you got equal to 1 plus 300 by Tx minus 200, that is Tx by Tx minus 300. So from here you express QH in terms of W net, which is here, right. Then you substitute the value of W net from here, this one W net, right, this equation you have substituted here and rearrange the terms, and finally you come up this solution, that is 1028. So with this, these are the 11 questions which were asked in the quiz. So I'm stopping the discussion here. Thanks for your patience. See you all in the next class with a new topic, availability and non-availability. So if still you are having any doubt, feel free to contact me. Have a nice day. Good day.